Some may find the following disturbing. Discretion is advised.
Spend about 15 minutes, go around the league and talk about different situations. Say we talked about a certain team had a 4-minute situation, how they...
Some may find the following disturbing. Discretion is advised.
Yeah, baby, I love that open, man. Bobby created art there. That is art.
Yes, it is.
How are you? My name is Aldo Gandhi. I'm filling in for Aaron Curran today. With me, of course, is Chris Watts and Ryan. Starting with you, Ryan. What's happening, brother? Holla.
Hey, we getting it. It's snowing outside, but we still jigging. Hey, football Sunday, baby. Super excited, man. Can't wait to get in and talk about it, man. How y'all doing?
Talk about, man. We got a lot to talk about. Chris Watts, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, mate. Nice to be back in the program with you again, Aldo. It's always a buzz, mate, when the boss man comes from his lofty heights and mixes of us normal people. But yeah, really good, mate, and looking forward to the show, man.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And Matthew for Cheesy says Aldo is pumped, and I am pumped. You know why? Because I think that today the Chicago Bears start a winning streak. I think that they are going to beat the heck out of this Detroit Lions team, and then they'll play the Falcons and Jets on the road. I truly believe they can win both of those road games and then come back to Green Bay and end Aaron Rodgers' career as a football player. Who disagrees with me? Who disagrees with me?
Not a single person, man. You look at this grind. This year's been difficult to watch, man, but then it got to a point of it becoming the ascension of a franchise quarterback, unlike anything that we've seen in Chicago. We easily have been in basically every game outside of two. All right, the first Green Bay Packers game, we'll just realistically throw away. We lost that one. That's fine. Then the Cowboys came in. The defense wasn't ready. We got whooped up on. But you seen the offense come. There was pretty much second game of the offense coming to life. Man, I'm excited, man, because to me, you could make a run. Every team after today looks beatable, except maybe the Eagles. We'll leave the Eagles out of that. But the Bills, hey, man, you got a hurt quarterback. And who knows? Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Chris, do you believe that today the Bears start a winning streak?
I can feel it in my bones, Aldo. I think as well. I just really want Fields to get his first win in a while, because it's like LKB was just saying, he's been so close in so many games.
Yes,
but it'd be such an awesome thing for his confidence, and to prove that it's not only me but the team is improving as well. But yeah, I can see him going on a little run out there. I mean, I've got a winning against Detroit today, and I think the Jets, I don't know why, but the Jets game worries me a little bit. I don't know why, because they've beaten some good teams. But yeah, I can definitely see him going a little bit of a roll.
Yeah, that Jets team is improving, and they've been winning without Zach Wilson, their quarterback that they chose above Justin Fields, without him playing really well, which is why I truly believe that when Fields gets on the field against Zach Wilson, he's going to be extra pumped and really do some spectacular things in New York. By the end of that game, the New York madmen, all those advertising guys and so forth, they're going to be, all right, get his agent on the phone. We want him selling Wheaties. We want him selling Chryslers. We want him selling Hennessy. We want him selling everything.
Not the head dog, baby.
I truly believe it. You know, I was at that game against the Miami Dolphins, and what I witnessed there was similar to the hair on my arms was going up similarly to the way it did when I saw Walter Payton run for 275 yards against the Vikings, and when Michael Jordan did the shrug, the 6 3-pointers in the first half of an NBA Finals game against the Portland Trailblazers. And I'm shocked and I'm surprised that after Justin Fields ran those 61 yards, let go of the ball, and then he shrugged like this. I'm surprised more people haven't made the correlation. This guy is going to be Michael Jordan. He's going to wow everybody. Just stay out of his way. Let him do his thing. If I'm Luke Getsy, I'm going to sit down with Justin and say, what do you want to call? I'm going to help you and make sure that everybody knows their role. What do you want to do? Because this guy is a tremendous quarterback, and he's just giving us a taste of what he's going to become. Man,
exactly, man. It's hard to keep talent suppressed. All right, when you have that much juice in everything that you're doing, and it's evident. The man does not like to lose. He's come from a very winning background. He's won in high school. He's won in college. So you put him on this stage now, he's looking around like, you know what, man, I'm not used to this. I'm going to do what I need to do so we can get to the point where we're winning. And I'm going to show you why I'm special. That's incredible. I didn't even think about the damn shrug, which is crazy because I remember when he did it, he just kind of put the ball. I was like, I was like, hey, this dude, I was like, he's something else, man. He knows he's talented. That's the thing. It's a difference when it's saying, okay, yeah, I have the talent to do it, but I can't put forth that talent to show it. He can do it both. I have the talent. I'm gonna show you I got it. Here you go. Here's a little piece of it. It's incredible to watch, man. It's incredible football. It's funny how you change from saying, you know what, I'm gonna sit here and watch the defense play. We're gonna play old school 1950s football, good defense and running the ball. No, it's starting to change now. You're starting to see what Poles' vision is for this team. It's exciting to watch, man.
I love it.
I mean, cool thing for me regarding the Michael Jordan thing is I didn't know that history, and I just think that's so cool that the starting quarterback knows the City sports history and just did it sort of non-flippant way as well. Like you said, it wasn't like done over the top. It was like, if you know the history of Chicago sports, you'll know this little action I'm doing. And I thought that was so cool after finding out on one of the shows earlier this week. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it's to do with Justin Fields improving, but I think as well, you know, I think a lot has to do with like the offensive calling and just the whole ethos of the offense seems to have changed and to more what he can do. And I don't mind him having more design runs because I'd rather him sort of get hit when he's running rather than standing in a pocket where you're sort of unprotected. You know, your ribs are wide open. So it's just been an offensive blast. It's so weird being a Bears fan. I keep thinking about, God, it's like being like the Miami Dolphins in the mid-80s or you know, something crazy like that with the Duper brothers and all this sort of thing. So it's nice, but it's very odd.
Indeed. Got to give a shout out to our guy, Tony, the pod boss. He's headed out to Soldier Field for the game. Cool. And Tony, do us a little favor. Shoot a little video of yourself when you're there and give us a shout out. I'd love to post it on our Barroom Twitter timeline. By the way, I don't know how much longer we're going to be on Twitter. I keep hearing these stories that Elon Musk is imploding the whole thing. We're going to lose all our Twitter followers. What the hell's going on?
I don't know what's going on. All I know is you pay a subscription fee to keep your blue check mark. That's all I heard.
So you can keep that blue check mark, man.
I mean, the thing is, to me, I think I've only got about 30 followers anyway, so it ain't really affect my life at all.
Right. I got like 50. You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, yeah.
All right, I collected some sound of the coaching staff talking about the Chicago Bears team, and we're on the topic of Justin Fields. This is offensive coordinator Luke Getsy evaluating his quarterback.
He did a lot of nice things. Obviously, he made some plays that were miraculous. I mean, they were pretty unbelievable. But there's still, we got to make sure we keep eliminating those few plays in the game that, the interception that got called back. That's a play, you just got to throw it away and move on to the next down. And but there's plenty of good plays in there that he's starting to get more comfortable with everything. Like we talk about that every week. He's getting more and more comfortable each and every week. So, we just got to keep building on that.
Guys, I like his level-headed approach to this. You want to pump up your quarterback and give him all the confidence, but at the same time, when they're reviewing tape and talking about, what did you see here? What didn't you see here? They're going to find the blemishes. They're going to find the imperfections, and they have to harp on that. Like, for instance, on the 61-yard magnificent run, we take a look at Darnell Mooney here. He's in that slot at the top of the screen. That was where the pass was intended to go. Right there is where Justin Fields has to release that ball and hit his receiver, but he's concerned about the pass rush, so he steps up into the pocket, and then he was going to throw it to him there, but Mooney took off, said, I'm not going to wait here. I'm going to go deep. And Justin then performed magic. And so while the play ended up being better than what was originally designed for, a 15-yard pass over the middle, instead we get the touchdown and, of course, the famous shrug right there. There it is. I love it. It is what it is, but that's why he's so magnificent, that you can take a play, and even when he personally, the quarterback, Justin Fields, makes a mistake, he still turns it into a 61-yard touchdown run to go along with his 3 touchdown passes in that game. That is just splendiferous. I don't know what the effing word is, but it's a thing of beauty, man.
Splendiferous. That's a word I ain't heard since Barney, bro. That's woof. It's splendiferous. Hey, and what's crazy is I was told because he only had 123 yards passing, he couldn't throw the ball. But hey, yeah, Shady McCoy, man, shout out to you for not watching games.
Thank you,
man. I love the approach of Luke Getsy. Right, you start off the season where you have a quarterback that you're trying to implement a system. At that point, it looked like more of saying, we're trying to implement him in our system. When we were told all summer it was going to be, hey, you're good at doing X, Y, and Z, so we're gonna do X, Y, and Z because you're really good at it. Mm-hmm. So we see this offense, and it's failing miserably. Oh my God, it's the Trevor Siemian, Andy Dalton drop back, and let's see if somebody gets open offense, and then you go into the break. Now, this is where we as Bear fans have not had the pleasure of being in a modern day coach with a modern day coaching staff. Mm-hmm. They go in. Eves comes out and says, hey man, yeah, we evaluated. And what we evaluated was this. We're not doing shit to help Justin Fields. Okay. We're not letting our Ferrari get on the drag strip and go a million miles down the track as fast as he can. We're pretty much driving with the e-brakes on. So we're adjusting to what he does really good. And then you've seen it happen. You, like they say, you hear polls having a conversation of basically saying before the Patriots game, yeah, there's a lot of things that we're doing. There's a lot of things I'm really excited about. And then we go out and we put it on the Patriots. And then it continues to roll. You know what I'm saying? And that's something else that we haven't seen as Bear fans. We haven't seen it roll in the next week and then the next week. And then we're sitting here like, oh, we're all excited because the Detroit Lions defense is pool water. You know what I'm saying? It's the water at the bottom of the trash. That's what the defense is for the Lions. We might not be much further than that right now, but our offense looks like a top 5 offense right now. And that's why I get so excited about. But you see this evolution of Getsy saying, "Hey, even though I know he's doing good, we're gonna do better."
Yeah.
And then Fields is co-signing that, and I think that's where their relationship is becoming, is starting to blossom. It's give me the constructive criticism. Tell me what I did wrong. Do not tell me what I did right, because what I did wrong, we're going to fix, and it's going to become all right. That's how you become a top 5 quarterback in the league, and I love it.
Chris, I want you to expound on what we're talking about here with Justin Fields. But first, let me play another soundbite from Luke Getsy talking about what we're seeing out of the young quarterback.
I think what you're seeing is just somebody that's more comfortable in calling a play, more comfortable in understanding what the play means. So you're able to do more things. And that's kind of with not just him, that's everybody in the group. I mean, I say it all the time. Our receivers and tight ends, they have a demand on them to align correctly, to handle their assignment correctly is not an easy job. And those guys are doing a great job of giving not just Justin, but everybody that's touching the ball an opportunity to get some explosives. So I think it's just a combination of everybody, doing their job. And then you have the quarterback, when he's feeling comfortable with what's actually going on around him, the confidence obviously grows.
Chris, I'm not sure how much of that you were able to hear. Did you get that?
No, I've heard all there. I've got a sister one. I've got my main TV. I've got us on there on the TV, and then I just turn the sound on. So when you play clips, because it just won't work on my phone. So I'm quite pleased with myself because I've had a few joints today. So I'm quite surprised. I actually managed to figure something like that out. So I'm quite out heads up on myself. But no, I heard all what he said, mate.
Excellent. Yeah. So clearly, this guy is getting better and better because he knows the playbook better and better every hour. I mean, and he's just studying so much and preparing so much. He's getting more confident when the confidence can be heard by the players in the huddle, the way he's spitting out the play calls. He's getting more accurate because he's much more comfortable. There were passes that he threw that he would not have thrown 4 weeks ago. People crowding the pocket. That touchdown pass to Darnell Mooney was a thing of beauty because the rush was in on him, and he decided, no, what? I'm going to stay right here, and I'm going to blast this throw to Darnell Mooney. This, Chris, has got to make you so super confident that this quarterback is progressing, and we're seeing the results every effing week.
Absolutely out there. I mean, the thing as well is, the offensive line is playing better as well. I mean, I think he only got sacked once as well last game. So the combination of them getting better at pass blocking, then Justin Fields getting better into the playbook, and on us as well with the coach as well. The more experience he gets as a play caller every game, he's going to improve hopefully, and that's what I think that's what's happening. So I just see the sky limit for the guy. Really, I think the offense will just keep developing around him, like from inside out. And I think, they'll keep playing to his strengths, but obviously when he improves, they're able to open up another part of the playbook. So he can do a bit more sort of dynamic passing plays. But yeah, I think it's like I think a lot of us on the Barroom Network have said all season is that he just needs to have a bit of patience this season because it's a lot of firsts sort of happening in the club, new first year head coach, play caller, management or whatever. So, hopefully we're actually got to the point now where we're actually seeing it gel together, because I can't remember ever like before a Bears game in a long time thinking, man, I can't wait to see the offense. You know what I mean? It's been that long, like when we were watching the offense last year, if they got like 2 first downs in a row, it was like a massive achievement. So it's so refreshing to see a proper offense working and slowly gelling together. But yeah, I can remember somebody saying that they reckon it'd be like it'll take them like 9 games to get really kicking in. And whoever said that, they were bang on right. It's just been an absolute blast watching the kid.
We had a guy on the Dan and Aldo show named Coach T, and he said
that might have been him.
He was like, I guarantee you by week 8 or 9, it's all going to start clicking for this guy. And I want to come back on your show. So I need to invite him this week so that he can gloat, because he was absolutely right. And Chris, you mentioned the offensive line. This is what the coaching staff had to say about the offensive line and their improvement.
Yeah. The O-line's done a good job. It's the strength of their team, they have a couple of good
my bad. He's talking about the Lions offensive line. So let me save that. Let me go instead to Chase Claypool. Well, no, let's stay on the topic of offensive line because I want to get KB's thoughts on this. Riley Reif took over at the right tackle position. He played really well. It appears to me like our guy, Larry Borum, might have lost his job, not because he's awful, but because we got to protect the quarterback. We got to get a better. If you're going to go by the expression, we need the best 5 in there. Then the best 5 includes Riley Reef, and right now, not Larry Borom. Your thoughts? You muted.
Oh, there we go. My lieutenant peeked in here, said something to make sure everything was cool. But no, you're absolutely correct, man. I said it after the first game Riley Reef played. I said you notice a little bit less pressure coming through. The line seemed to gel very well with him in. Right now, it's the age-old saying: you have to go with the hot hand. Mm-hmm. We all want Borom to succeed. We all want Borom to grow, because it would be an amazing achievement to have Borom get to a level that Riley Reef is at right now. You know what I'm saying? Have him, and then maybe you get everything that you need for Braxton Jones, and then next year you have 2 starting tackles that were homegrown, as they would say. You don't have to go out and spend, you know what I'm saying, $1 million. Millions of dollars. I won't say millions of dollars. Millions of dollars to bring somebody else into the fold when you have those 2 here already. But right now, Riley Reef is him. That's his job right now. If he falls off the cliff for whatever reason, then Larry Borom, you step back in, and then you need to solidify yourself as a starting right tackle. But right now, it would be next to impossible for you to tell me that, oh, we're going to take Riley Reef out, because then you would be going against the adage of saying you're trying to keep your best 5 out there at the moment.
There you go. Got to protect your big-time investment in Justin Fields, and you got to give this running back team the necessary holes for them to pick up that yardage. We got to talk about Chase Claypool. This, to me, is an acquisition that I was so effing excited about. Oh, yeah. I really love this kid coming out of Notre Dame. You know, how can you not love a guy who is so fast and yet has such physical presence? To see him in his first game, to see how many snaps he got, how often he was put in there, and it's a testament to how quickly he learned the playbook or portions of the playbook, and also a testament to how organized this offensive coaching staff, because they had videos of Luke Getsy in front of a green screen with the plays are up and a big screen behind him. They had these videos that they gave to players in camp. And so they just gave those videos to Chase Claypool so that he could get up to speed quickly. And, of course, other receivers tutored him, got him going. This is what Matt Eberflus said about Chase Claypool after this week's practice and, of course, his performance against the Dolphins.
Yeah, he's getting more comfortable. We're expanding the package for him. He's doing a lot of different things for us in there, different spots, different locations. So I think it's healthy. It's growing at the right pace, and we're excited to see where it's going to go.
You learned anything more about him now that you've had another week with him?
Just smart. I wouldn't say more. I just found out that he is super smart and understands the offense, and he's getting a better feel. Now it's just about getting the feel and experience with the other players. How do you play off the quarterback? How do I play off the tight ends? The route running and the combinations. I think that's just experience and time will help him with that.
Chris, I know you're happy about the Bears acquiring Claypool, but what I want to ask you is, what is Chase Claypool's ceiling? Can he be a true number 1 wide receiver, or are we going to see a combination where we have a 1 and a 1A, or call it 2A and a 2B, 2 similar wide receivers in Mooney and Claypool delivering similar results, or do you think Claypool can ascend to be a true number 1 in the NFL?
I think he's got all the factors on him to get to that position, really. Like you were just saying as you introduced the guy out there, just the physical attributes, what he's got. He's got everything what we were looking for in a wide receiver, what we didn't have in the rest of the wide receiver room this season. So I can't see why not. I mean, I can see him as a number 1, but I think really, I've heard if you have like a number 1 and a 1A, where one can the pressure on just one guy all the time. But I could definitely see him improving. I mean, why not? Why not? I always believe. I mean, I think a lot of people think soon as players like leave college and get into an NFL team that they're not being coached to still improve as a player. And of course, that's what a good coach does. So I just hope he gets really good coaching, and I can't see why not. The chemistry seems to be already there, and yeah, it's just nice to see the Bears have like a big body receiver like that again. Probably since like Brandon Marshall or something like that. So I'm just excited to see what he can do.
The Tooch is here, and so we got to ask.
The Tooch!
That's a great job,
folks. What's happening, peeps?
What's going on, fam?
You are. Hey, Tooch, I got to tell you something. That prop bet with Justin Fields, I think it's over under rushing yards. I think it was at 56, 57 yards. I'm thinking about putting some jelly beans on that because I think he's going to get over 57. What do you think?
Well, it's 61.5 now, but
my goodness.
I still would take it. I mean, I'll ride that train until it goes off the rails. It's cashed 4 or 5 times in a row. So why not?
What do you think it's going to happen? Because you got to believe that the Lions are going to focus. They're going to have that spy on Justin Fields throughout the game. So do you think that Fields could potentially have his best passing game from a yardage standpoint against this Lions team?
The numbers all point that way. The Lions are the worst defense in the NFL, giving up 417 yards per game. And they're the worst team in the NFL against the run. And they're about near the bottom of the NFL against the run. I mean, it's against giving up 268.5 yards passing. So the prop for Justin Fields is low. I think it's 155 passing yards. So if you're looking for maybe an over in that one, but something tells me this game might be an under game. It's cold, it's outdoors. Both these offenses, the Bears offense has definitely come to life. The Lions offense, they're coming out of the dome. They're gonna be playing outside. I could see this game first quarter like 6-3, and then we're not quite getting to 48.5 for the over. But the Bears have been trending as an over team. So the Lions haven't, though, late. The beginning of the season, the Lions were putting up a lot of points. Now, for whatever reason, the teams have adjusted to whatever the Lions were doing on offense. And let's not kid ourselves. The Lions have a long list of injuries today. I mean, their list of injuries is it's long. So it's like,
significant. Yes, it is.
But they do get DeAndre Swift back, and he's been on last 2 games. DeAndre Swift has been on a pitch count, so to speak. He hasn't gotten a full workload, but he complained, to the coaching staff that he wanted more touches. So we'll see. The other backup is good, Jamal Williams, and they'll be able to run on the Bears. The Bears have not been a good run-stopping defense. So
terrible run-stopping defense. Let's cover a couple of more things regarding what happened this past week. Of course, we all know that the Bears would have gone on to at least tie this game against the Miami Dolphins, but it was interference penalties. The one that was called against Eddie Jackson shouldn't have been. The NFL issued an apology, and one that wasn't called. The Dolphins on Chase Claypool, and the NFL apologized for that too. Matt Eberflus was asked his reaction to these missed calls by the NFL.
Yeah, no, it's really with like any call. Like, if you turn in a call that you think that you may disagree with or that you do agree with, it's really about education. It's really about educating us, for the rules, and then turning that and educating the players, and say, hey, we did play it the right way. Or you could do something better going forward, because those plays are over. They made those calls, and once they make them, there's nothing you can do about it. You can complain and whine about it, but there's really that doesn't do any good. We want to learn from the situation, and that's why we turn the calls in. So good or bad, we agree with a lot of calls. We want explanations, and then get it back to our players and educate. With Eddie, say, hey, you played that the right way. You did a nice job. You turned, you played the ball, and there was, incidental contact. You both have, obviously are there to play the ball, and you both have a right to play the ball. So I think that it was good on that part, and then the other one, there's not much you can do on that one.
This guy should run for political office, Matt Eberflus, because he's so diplomatic there. I mean, if I'm the head coach, I would have pulled a Mike Ditka. They don't know what the F they're talking about. Those referees are. But Eberflus is maintaining his cool, saying he's using it as a learning thing to teach the players what you can do, what you can't do, and so forth. Still, KB, you had the biggest reaction when I just brought up the topic, so I'll go to you first. What were your thoughts after the game when this missed opportunity of a victory was because of the referee?
I'm gonna put this in very, 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 you know what I'm saying, simple terms. Them coming back and telling us we're sorry is the equivalent of me going into a house, having, let's say, a match drop on the floor, something that can be put out in an instant. But I walk out the house because I say I don't see a fire. And then the fire catches the house on fire and everything burns up. But then I walk back to that family and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. We could have handled that right the correct way the first time I saw it." I
didn't see your house burning down.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see your house on fire. I'm sorry. Even though I was in the room when I seen the match sitting on the floor. It does nothing. I don't care that they came back and said, "Oh yeah, our bad." No, that does nothing for anybody. The rest need to be held accountable. This is something I've been tweeting out. They should be fined just like everybody else is fined. They should lose game checks just like everybody else loses game checks. You have to hold their feet to the fire. No pun intended. You have to hold them accountable. They cost a game. Be damned the catch later on with EQ. He, like I said, that to me, that was a cuttable offense. Hands, dude. You're in the NFL for a reason. But you extended a damn drive for the Dolphins that Eddie Jackson could have ended. You then killed a drive, basically, by not calling the most egregious pass interference I think I've ever seen outside of the fucking Saints-Rams game or whoever the fuck they played in the playoffs. It was blatantly egregious. I have Dolphins friends that called me and said, "Hey, bro, we got away with that one." I've never seen anybody get behind somebody and ride them like a horse like the old boy did and then pull them down and not get flagged for it. So yeah, I'm sorry. I can care less about your damn sorry. Damn sorry doesn't put a win in the win table. I'm sorry, that doesn't give us the game. So be damn that bullshit. I'm sorry, that's bullshit to me.
I hear you, Chris. Your thoughts after you saw those penalty mishaps, to put it nicely, by the officials.
I could put it quite simply, boys. Is what a fucking wanker. Is that you know we do the weekly thing, but that is the complete illustration of what a wanker is.
Piss off, you grassy little wanker!
The top of their profession, who get paid a lot of money as well, and they're only part-time as well, so they've got outside interests, cannot see what happened in that play and then cannot call the correct call. That is, to me, the perfect illustration of what I call a wanker. And that guy, I know, what's the point of saying sorry, because everything rides in that moment, that decision, you know, that we could have won that game, which means like that could affect, you know, players' future prospects or the coach's future prospects and where their careers go. That's how important a decision like that is. And when they say sorry, it's sort of a bit of like a bit of a kick, you know, a bit of a laugh like in the back of your head, you know, saying, "Oh well, yeah, but we are sorry, we did make a mess, but it's too late." And you know, these games, you only get 17 games a year, so every game counts. So every decision's got to count the same as every other decision. So yeah, he's the perfect illustration of what I call a wanker.
Perfectly said, Chris Watts.
Thank you very much.
Tooch, as a gambler, when you see, as a professional gambler as you are, when you see the atrocious officiating in the National Football League, and it's not just this game, it's every game, there are disputable calls. And what bugs me the most, Tooch, is that we at home can see what the right call is. because the replay is right there.
Yeah.
But the NFL is not using the technology at hand to give at least the team that was affected the opportunity to throw a flag and say, hey, you need to look at that, because the guy upstairs told me you missed it and it was obvious. So we the fans can do a better job officiating than the guys that are getting paid $175,000 a year for a part-time job. That's got to drive you crazy, Tooch.
It does, but the fact that they haven't done it makes you scratch your head, as to why they haven't done it. What sort of phone calls are being made during the game? I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, but it does make you scratch your head. But yeah, the coaches that would fix it. Throwing a flag on a ref call. Why not allow a challenge to the official's call? Especially when it happens in the last 90 seconds of a game, with the game on the line, as it did to the Bears against the Dolphins. I mean, that was Claypool was mugged a full second before the ball got there. The ref was standing right there. Eberflus should have been allowed to challenge that,
Mm-hmm.
That's just my thought. Yeah, it's hard when you handicap a game, and you shouldn't have to take into account neutral referees being not neutral.
Right. It is, and they had the rule where you could review pass interference because of the blatant missed call in that Saints NFC Championship game. KB, you got to get to work, huh, brother? All right. KB,
take care, mate.
Is a firefighter, and it looks like somebody may be in need of his help. So we wish him the very best. People who are firefighters, police officers, teachers, nurses, and so forth. Those are the most noble professions that we have in society. These are people who are risking their lives to save other people. And so to KB and anyone who is being affected by whatever is happening there, God bless them, and we really appreciate their service. And by the way, happy Veterans Day to everyone that served. I forgot to tell Mike that. Mike North earlier this morning was on it. He served our country during the Vietnam War. Fortunately, Richard Nixon said, okay, no more troops to Vietnam, just before Mike was supposed to head over there. Mike tells me he was never so happy before in his life.
Mike was on the Lions, though, today, so taking the points.
Yes, he was.
I can't get there with the Lions, man. I look at all the injuries. I look at how bad their defense is. They're coming out of their dome. The Bears, though, I mean, this could be a game. What worries me is that this could be a game where the Bears just don't take the Lions as seriously as they should.
Mm-hmm.
Where they get up for a team like Miami, who's a good team,
mm-hmm.
And then they say, oh, the Lions are coming in here. We should win this one. We don't have to try,
Mm-hmm.
But, if you have that kind of attitude, I could see it coming down to, not a cover, like Mike said, a 1 or 2 point game. But, the Bears games have, for the most part this season, come down to the Bears trying to win it at the last minute,
Indeed.
So I hate for it to come down to a last minute, driving down the field for a last minute win against the freaking Lions. But,
yeah. Well, and that's what I've seen a lot of the predictions by people from the media. They're basically predicting a close game with the last series. Whoever has the ball left kind of winning the game, but we'll see about that. All right, a couple more things about what we witnessed last week. A defense that just has no pass rush. A defense that was for the first several games when we had both Quinn and Roquan Smith was performing at a fairly decent level. In the second half, they weren't giving up any points at all for about 4 or 5 straight games. But everything has fallen apart. What I witnessed at Soldier Field with the Dolphins just carving apart the Bears secondary because of no pass rush was very disheartening. This is what defensive coordinator Alan Williams said when he was asked, what's happened to the defense?
Tough when you give up that many points in that short of a period, especially when early on you were we were eliminating touchdowns and down on points. But I'm trying not to overreact to 2 ball games and still cognizant of what we're trying to get done, where we're going. So the idea that you can't give up points, but still keep in the back of my mind that we're still improving. where we're still finding our identity and we're still sticking to the process of the big thing is making sure that guys are hustling, guys are executing. And I take away that we have to execute better.
That sounded like a man who he looked and sounded defeated. I mean, that's a little concerning. He's probably not happy that I lost Roquan, I lost Quinn. I understand the better good. The Poles wants to develop this team in a certain way, but how am I supposed to compete with the guys that you've given me? They've got very little established talent. And when I say established, it's because we've got players who can become really good players, but it's going to take a while. You look at Dominic Robinson, the pass rusher, he could become a really good player, but it's not going to happen overnight. It may not happen this season. We'll see. Chris, what are your thoughts about this defense? Do you think that there's any way we can see a better defense, hopefully starting to get today against the Lions?
Well, it's just been weird, isn't it? It's just been weird seeing such good a Chicago offense, then as defense suddenly goes down the plug hole. It's sort of like, we're living in a parallel universe. But I remember watching the game last week, and every time the Dolphins seemed to move the ball, it was essentially down the central part of the field. And I think really the losing of both them players through trades has sort of hit him hard, really. Because I think if Smith had been there, I think a lot of their small to intermediate passing attack might have been closed down a bit better. But I do think he doesn't really sort of alter his defense very quick. He seems to let like the opposition offense beat us on very similar plays. He doesn't react very quickly in my eyes sometimes. But I mean, obviously losing them two plays is going to hurt your defense straight away. But I just wish he'd react and maybe try and put a bit more pressure on the quarterback.
The problem, Chris, is that the trust level with the secondary isn't quite there yet. When you, of course, blitz, you got to rely on your defensive backs to really provide outstanding coverage. And I think that Williams is still not at this point, particularly, with injuries. And you saw what happened to Kindle Vildor. He's been burned the last couple of games. Now he's not playing today because he hurt his ankle on that one touchdown that he gave up. But it is about having faith in those defensive backs. And so you're kind of screwed there. Now against a quarterback like Jared Goff, maybe you're going to have to blitz, because he can get rattled when he's blitzed and when he's pressured. The one thing that Don Burr has been bragging about, and I have to agree with him, the Detroit Lions do have an outstanding offensive line, and this is Eberflus talking about that offensive line.
Yeah, the O-line's done a good job. It's the strength of their team. They have a couple of good strengths there, but one of them is their offensive line and the experience they have there. I think Jared does a good job of getting rid of it. Sometimes the quarterback does a nice job. He's got a lot of experience. He knows when things break down to get rid of it and not take the sack. So I think he's done a good job with that. I think it's a combination of both a good offensive line and also the experience of the quarterback.
Tooch, I'm sure you agree 100% with head coach Matt Eberflus there. What do you see today when you examine the line of scrimmage for these both of these teams?
Well, the Bears have to get home versus Goff, whether it's, blitzing an extra man, like you guys said earlier. But I think, who was it said? Was it in Uncle Mike's show, Blitz 5, Blitz 6,
Right.
But Goff is a veteran, he's not stupid. He knows how to beat the blitz. But, the Lions they're injured in their wide receiver core. There's no DJ Chark. There's no Josh Reynolds. There's no Quintez Cephas. They've got St. Brown and Khalif Raymond, who tore us up, I think, last year. One game, he had like 100-some yards against us. But what really stands out is how sharp is the Bears' margin for error, because last game against the Dolphins, it was pretty sharp, with the punt touchdown, giving up the special teams touchdown. That was some an error that we couldn't afford. Otherwise, we'd probably win the game. 35 to, if the final score was 35-32. I think if you give Jared Goff enough time to throw, he's going to pick you apart. And It's weird because the Bears secondary is like the unit that I'm least worried about on the defense. You know, that they've got players back there.
They do.
You know,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's the linebackers, the front seven that worries me. And they're going to need the front seven to play tough against the run because, you know, two pretty good running backs on Detroit, and they have to get home in the pass rush. So I don't know if they can do that, but we'll see.
Well, let's see what Williams had to say when he was asked about the pass rush.
I have to be creative about, hey, putting guys in position to accentuate what they do well. And then some places I need to be more aggressive. Some places I need to, hey, let the guys rush and mix up, the looks that we're giving people. And so it's not or, I think it's and, it's both.
So he's saying the players are not following all the assignments and I have to do a better job. So he's blaming everybody, including himself, which is probably the appropriate answer to this, because there are certain things that he can do in terms of scheming guys potentially to get open. But there is a dearth of talent there. And so we have to pray for development. You know, as we've seen with other players on this team, particularly on the offense, we've seen them develop over the course of the season. Now, the fact that we are missing or have lost two of the key defensive players of this Bears defense, we now have to hope that some of these other players who are getting more playing time step up and get better and better and better. I'm not questioning. I'm not ruling that out. I do think that some of these guys can get better. And one of the things that I love about the Chicago Bears team is that I do think they have an outstanding coaching staff. And if anybody can get more out of these players, it's probably this coaching staff. And we'll talk more about the coaching staff in a little while. Chris, do you disagree with me at all that potentially we could see these players on the defense get better?
No, I completely agree. I mean, I think as well, what I take a bit of solace out is that the Miami Dolphins offense is far superior to what the Lions are going to be producing today. I mean, their two wide receivers are world beaters. You know, they're probably going to both get like over 1,000-yard receiving. So, you know, I do think Detroit are going to move the ball on us. I think they run well on us, and I think they will score some points. But I just think our offense is better than their offense, and I think as well, like you hinted on the Aldo, I think our coaching staff, especially the head coach and the offensive coordinator, are miles better than what Detroit have got at the moment in their coaching staff, and I think that'll make a big difference throughout the game.
Saying Omni wants to know, what am I drinking? It is water. Sorry, Saying Omni. I'm still trying to get over the tequila ad last night. All right.
Was that from the Nasle Briones and crew?
No, I have not opened that bottle yet. Yes, at our event last Saturday, Nasle Briones and Alamis brought me some, and I think Heidi was behind that too. Brought me a beautiful bottle of tequila with two outstanding shot glasses. I have it upstairs. I'd love to share it with you, but maybe I'll do it on Tuesday's Dan and Aldo show it off and then pop it open and have a drink for Tooch and Dan and myself in honor of the great folks. Go ahead, Chris.
Aldo, how do you drink your tequila? Do you sip it or do you down it in one? Because over here, we usually get like a piece of lime and some salt and do the down in one thing. So it's basically slamming it. So I keep thinking, I think we're doing it the wrong way over here because you just get blotted. So I'm just wondering, how do you drink it, mate? Do you slam it down or do you nicely sip it?
When I'm with company, I knock it back. When I'm alone or just with my wife and stuff, I'm sipping, you know, and doing some work. But I'm always doing graphics and little videos for our stuff, and so sometimes I'll have a little something as I sip. You know, helps the creative juices. So that's the way I typically do it. But I think that on Tuesday's show, I'm knocked down a couple, especially if the Bears win, and which they will.
Yeah,
but more on that in a second.
I'm going to say, I do remember the show you did when he took some gummies, and that was quite interesting about an hour into it.
You know what? I went back and saw portions of that show after I took a few gummies, and there is a section of that show where if you look at my face, I'm like staring off into space. You know? I was just thinking about things and not paying attention to what people were saying, what Tooch and Dan were saying. I just I'm thinking about something in my head and I'm looking out into space. Yeah, I don't know if I should do that again.
What a great watch.
Thank you. By the way, I'm all out of gummies, so I got to make a run today.
Oh man, that to me is breaking the law. It's ridiculous.
I want to play a couple of more sound bites here. One of them that is going to segue to a discussion that I want to have with you guys of who are of the 5 rookie head coaches in the National Football League. How would you rank them in their effectiveness so far this season? So I've got my list. I've got a couple of your guys' lists, but let's listen to Matt Eberflus at Friday's press conference talk about what the team was doing at practice that day.
Spent about 15 minutes, go around the league and talk about different situations. Say we talked about a certain team had a 4-minute situation, how they handled that really well. I did a nice job of, working the clock and then on defense, what would you do? And then we, look at different 2-minute situations, in the game situations. It's usually about 30 plays or so. Talk about, 4th down tries, replay reviews, inbounds, out of bounds, all those things that come around in the league and what we can do to help our football team be a smart football team, keep educating not only the players but the coaches and everybody that's in the building. So I think that's a really good meeting. We've been doing that the entire year, so I think that's been really good for us in growing in situational football and being smart.
I love that. Love it. Love it. Do you think Matt Nagy did that last year, Tooch?
Hell no. Hell no. He went home and drew up plays on his wall.
Exactly. He was thinking only about himself and him wanting to be the quarterback of the Bears. That's all he did. He never spent time. And frankly, I think there's been a number of coaching staffs in the history of this team that didn't spend time explaining rules and talking situational football. I'm glad to hear that Eberflus, that this wasn't the first time they did it, that they do it regularly. That's what a well-coached team does. It goes beyond developing plays and telling players, go, work harder. No, that's not coaching. That's cheerleading. So happy to hear that. So that when I heard that, it got me to thinking about, all right, so we've got 5 rookie coaches. Who is it that I like the most? I'm going to share with you my list first. Oops, that's the wrong list. Where is it? Oh man, I loaded both times. I loaded the wrong list. So
is that Jordan Silvera's list?
Yeah, let me go with Jordan's, who I think most of the people in the Tailgate show. Chris, you got to see this.
I did.
Tell me if it aligns with your list. He's got Brian Dable, the Giants, at 6-2 at number 1. Mike McDaniel at number 2. He's 6-3. And then he did say in the comments section to us that he could flip-flop those guys because he likes both of those guys so much.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was just going to say. Really, I'd actually put Minnesota's coach 2, and then the Dolphins coach at number 3. And then, yeah, definitely have our guy at 4, and the Denver Bronco guy. Yeah, he's definitely the last on the list.
Yeah, I think he's the last on everybody's list, including the owner of the team
and everybody.
Tooch, what do you think about Jordan's list here?
Well, it's hard to argue with. I mean, Brian Dable has had about as much to work with as Matt Eberflus. To be honest, he's done quite a good job. So I don't disagree with him being up there at the top. Mike McDaniel, that dude's got some character on after the last press conference. Kind of like that dude. Kevin McConnell has a good team. I mean, to me, he's kind of nondescript. I might put Eberflus third. He's had junk to work with except for Justin Fields, but I mean, who have the Vikings beaten? I mean, we'll find out who the Vikings are today, but I mean, the Vikings are really we forgot Jeff Saturday. I'll put Jeff Saturday ahead of Nathaniel Hackett, though.
There you go.
Yay.
Look, the Vikings are catching a break because Josh Allen is banged up. You know, he's going to play, but I mean, one shot on that elbow, and he's probably going to leave the game. You're going to get Case Keenum. But I mean, how lucky have the Vikings been? They got a horseshoe up their butts.
Yeah, they have. Do you have the game on now, Tooch?
I don't. Hold on, let me.
That's all right.
I like the Seahawks in this one, man. I'll tell you. But when you look at that, I can't get 14-0 Buccaneers. I was totally wrong. You got to hold your nose and take the Bucks in this one, man. But Uncle Mike was right. Anthony was right. I couldn't get there with the Buccaneers, man. I'm like,
looks like they're fired up after that last minute win last week. So
yeah.
All right, here's my list. And I know it's not going to be a very popular list.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel, I think, is number one. I think he's an offensive genius. And yes, you can make the argument, well, he's got all these weapons. And sure, that accounts for a lot. I mean, the two wide receivers on that team, I wish we had half of one of them because they're two magnificent wide receivers. But I just like this, the energy that Mike McDaniel sends out. I love it. This is somebody in the chat room mentioned Trestman's name. This was the Mark Trestman I wanted. I wanted that brainiac head football coach and a guy who's got personality. This guy goes up to the podium. He's joking around. He's got a cool sense of humor and stuff. I love Mike McDaniel, and I think that he so far has shown the most. And, you know, the first four guys are awfully close. So, I could see anybody flipping this list totally around, and it would be hard to argue with. But I do have an argument for Matt Eberflus being at number 2, because I think of all of the head coaches that got jobs, these rookie head coaches, no doubt about it, Matt Eberflus had the least to work with, because they were clearly in a pre-designed, tear it down mode, build these players up, see what you got from the Equanimous St. Browns, from the Riley Reefs, and guys who couldn't sign contracts until the middle or late in free agency, didn't have many draft picks when the draft started. Eberflus just had the least to work with, and yet what did we see out of Eberflus's team in preseason? We saw them win. We saw them disciplined, unlike any other team we've seen in recent memory for the Chicago Bears. We have just seen a totally well-coached Chicago Bears team thanks to Matt Eberflus. Kevin McConnell, I put him at number 3 because they've had these weapons. They made no dramatic acquisitions during the offseason, but he's finally done what Zimmer was unable to do. So I got a lot of respect for McConnell, and I like the way he runs that offense. Now, Brian Daboll, to me, is the most overrated head coach in football. Everybody's in love with him. Everybody is thinking that this guy is a genius and so forth. I got news for you. The team that Brian Daboll inherited is not nearly as bad as what the Chicago Bears inherited. That team already had players in their secondary, players on their defense that were ready to take it to the next level. Gettleman, as poorly as he was as a general manager, he put some really good talent together on that defense. The offense was bad. There's no doubt about it. And it was bad because they had injuries. They had injuries to their number one running back. They had injuries on the offensive line, and the players they did have in the offensive line were not very good. So I give Daboll some credit to improving that offense. And then I know Jordan likes to talk about what Daboll has done with their quarterback over there, but this guy, their quarterback, Jones, has had almost 3 times the amount of experience at quarterbacking than Justin Fields. So Daboll already had a veteran quarterback to work with, where Eberflus and Getsy did not. So I'm not a big proponent of Brian Daboll. I'm not going to give him. A lot of people already crowned him coach of the year and so forth. I'm not going there. I think Eberflus has done a better job than Dable. Nathaniel Hackett, of course, is the absolute worst. He and Jeff Saturday will be looking for jobs at the end of the season. Anyone want to dispute my feelings about Brian Dable? I wish Jordan was here because I know he loves Brian Dable. But Chris, Tooch, anyone want to dispute it?
I don't know if I dare.
I have a hard time disputing it, but I mean, I think next year will be, better foretelling of where these coaches are. Actually, I mean, what the Dolphins coach had, he walked in and they handed him a Ferrari, with the offense, with all those playmakers. The defense isn't that good, but he had definite tools to work with on offense. So, I mean, I still like the coach. I think he's, a decent coach. And Dable, I mean, he's saddled with a bad quarterback in a tough division. He's done okay. I mean, the Cowboys and Eagles are both, really good teams, and he's right there. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's hard to argue against Jordan too. But you have to go back and look at some of the records. Now the Giants haven't really they've benefited from a third or fourth place schedule too.
Mm-hmm. Chris, what do you think?
I mean, I'll give Dable the sort of praise for actually changing the culture of the Giants, because their culture was pretty terrible for the last, I don't know, quite a fair few years, because they were such a losing franchise. I think that's a big important part of the head coach as well. It's like what Eberflus is doing for us. He's changing the culture that was left behind, which obviously was completely disjointed and badly organised. And now he's bringing in a new culture. And that surely must take time for Brady to do that so quickly. I'd say hats off to the guy. And he also is in a tough division, like Tooch said as well. So I can see where you're coming from, Aldo, but it's all about wins and losses, isn't it? Sometimes. So I'm maybe just giving it to Dable if I might be so bold.
Well, I know 2 or 3 weeks ago, Jordan was posting, complimentary things about the Giants and their organization. And one of the comments he said is that they had basically the same resources. And I disagreed with Jordan. And I said, listen, first of all, the Giants had twice the amount of draft picks that the Chicago Bears had. In fact, they had 2 number 1 draft picks. The Bears had 0. And by the time the Bears got the draft got to the 4th round, the Giants had already picked as many players as the Bears had for the entire draft. Now, of course, Brian Poles made some moves to pick up some late rounders, but everyone here knows that late rounders are real big long shots. So the Giants came in with a first rounder at the defensive line position, a first rounder at the right tackle position, Thibodeau and Evan Neal, those players, and they got good picks later on. Now, how good of a coach is he if none of those players has played at a really high level? You can make the argument that Neal has, but his injuries have curtailed his progress with the Giants. But I think that when you look at what Eberflus has done with Brisker and with Kyler Gordon, I think we've seen a better coaching job on that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I got my man KB back here in here. I want to get his thoughts on this. KB, first of all, everything okay, brother?
Oh yeah, man. It was just a fire alarm, man. We've been having issues with this company for a few days now.
Okay, so somebody set the fire alarm loose. You let me know, man. I'll go over there and take care of business for you.
Oh, man, I'm definitely going to let you know if I got to go back out there.
it is snowing there, so I know you don't want to leave. All right, so this is where we are. I on my list, KB, you saw it. I put it up in the DM's Twitter DM. I put Eberflus at number 2. You kind of agreed more with Jordan's list, and I'll put that up now. Jordan had Dable, McDaniel, McConnell, 1, 2, 3, Eberflus at 4, and of course Hackett at 5. And then somebody pointed out Jeff Saturday should be number.
Oh Lord, not Saturday. No. All right, yeah. Let me go ahead and clarify, because said I got back a little bit ago, and I was able to kind of hear what you said about your reasons why for having Eberflus at 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if we go by record, this is what I was going through with my guy Jordan there. If we go by record, of course you're going to throw Eberflus at 4th. All right, that's understandable. We've won 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we get down to the nitty gritty of what you're saying, because what you're saying makes a lot of sense. The Dolphins were already a team that was on the precipice of being something great. They went out and they made the trades they need to do. They went out and got Tyreek Hill. Just recently acquired Bradley Chubb. This team was ready to compete. Their offense has weapons that are damn near second to none to anybody in the league. And they had a scrappy defense. I'm a big proponent of Howard. He played around the same time that my cousin played. So I knew he was a dog coming out. So we're gonna give McDaniels his flowers, and plus he's a character. Dude's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
The whole fact he told Justin Fields to stop. Stop.
And then he says he doesn't listen.
Dude's hilarious. So I love McDaniel. Kevin McCall came into a situation where you already had a team assembled, man. I'm sorry. Coaching does it makes a team. I get into this with people all the time when I say the perfect example of this shit was the Saints when Sean Payton had to step down from coaching for the year. How they went from the top team in the NFL to like mid-tier. Heartbeat. So coaching does play a major difference. They switched their philosophies. They became more offensive oriented instead of defensive under the last guy. I can't remember what his name is right now to save my life. Fuck the Vikings head coach. Nobody cares. Zimmer, yeah. He was very archaic in his thinking. That's what the honest God truth was. He's kind of like our guy Fox. You know, defense is going to win the game. We're going to run the ball. We're going to win. That doesn't work. So they switched their philosophies. Good for them. But that team was already made. So I can understand why you put Eves in the 2. This team, by all accounts, from what people told us, wasn't going to win a game. We weren't going to be competitive. We were going to get ran over. We have nothing. Justin Fields isn't even a franchise quarterback. He's not even an NFL quarterback. This team is the bottom of the barrel. This is what we were told all summer. We're maybe if I can hold the amount of plays in my hand away that we are from having wins. Okay, you're 2-month punts away from having a win, 2 wins. You're a bad mistake by a wide receiver from a win, and then you're 2 catches away in the Redskins game from having a win. You're a referee away from beating the Dolphins. That's 5 wins. 5. This team, the entirety that we would be, Eberflus would be right now in the running for head coach of the year. 5, just 5 mistakes, 5. So I give him his flowers for what he's doing, because what you said makes sense. He stepped into a crappy situation and made the best out of a crappy situation. And we're talking about a team in a loss that's exciting to watch. As far as the Brian Dable thing, he's a good coach. I get that. The Giants were looked at just like how we were, but to be real, dog, people look at Daniel Jones like Daniel Jones just came out last fucking year and he's been in the league for what, 4? Isn't he working on his 5th year right now?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No, he's a veteran quarterback by all standards. He should be held to the same type of standard that Mr. Trubisky was held to. Yeah, he's done nothing in the league, and even now, he's not really doing much. I haven't heard anybody in New York say, "Oh my God, Daniel Jones is setting the world on fire." No, the fuck he's not. Mm-hmm. You have Saquon Barkley in the backfield. Saquon Barkley might be the most exciting running back since Barry Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
The shit he did against us was amazing. So they had weapons. You have picks. They had everything. So yeah, I can understand why you put Dable where you put him. I can understand calling him a little overrated, but I will give him his flowers because he has his team with a winning record right now. and that's good for them because, like I said, they were ass water too. But I do like your list a little bit better. I do like your list. I'm not just gonna follow the crowd here and be like, yeah, the records say that Eberflus should be second from the bottom. No, his coaching, the way that this team has changed, the discipline that we show. No, I would take that over Kevin McCall. I would take that over Brian Daboll. I would take that over we're not even gonna get into Nathaniel Hackett. Jesus Christ.
That doesn't even know the freaking rules. But KB, applause for you, man. You took my argument and you took it to a whole different level. Very convincing case. I gotta believe that anyone who had Eberflus at 4 has got to at least be thinking, all right, maybe 2 or 3 is where he should be, and maybe even number 1. We did a poll. Oh man, I should have had it set up for us, but we did a poll on that very question. Let me see if I can find it real quick as I scroll through Twitter. Here it is. People had Matt Eberflus. 15% of the people on the Twitter poll, 535 votes, had Matt Eberflus at 15% that he should be first on that list. At second, 30%. At third, 43%, and then fourth or lower, 11%. I hope all 535 people are listening to KB's argument about why Eberflus should be higher up on that list, and it's a very compelling case. Tooch, Chris, you want to comment on KB's comments about Eberflus?
Not really, no. I think you might have changed my mind in my 2 and a 3 now. So. Yeah, no, it all makes sense, and the draft thing as well. I didn't really have that knowledge about how many draft picks the Giants had compared to ourselves. Mm-hmm. So that sort of swung the argument a little bit. But no, well said, KB.
Yeah, Tooch.
Well, I go back to what you were talking about with Coach T. About the 9th game, we'd be seeing the progress that we wanted to see. So. I'd like to see how they react against this is a division game today.
Yeah,
you have to take it seriously.
Huge.
You can't be thinking they're lining up 11 Don Burrs out there because they're not. We have to. I've been waiting to tell that joke for a while.
I don't even think there's 11 Don Birds in the whole world.
11 disillusioned souls.
That's a very good thing. One is too many, Chris.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Listen, Lord, I thought he fell off the planet, bro. It's to see him pop up in the chat. I was shocked. I told him, I said, man, I smell cocoa butter and frustration. I knew it was Don Burr. Bro. My man told me they was gonna be leading the division. Hell, y'all got 2 wins and y'all ain't got no excuses.
Really? All right, let's focus in on this game here in the last 30 minutes that we've got. Expectations for this game. KB, I'll start with you first. What is it that you're most concerned about against the Detroit Lions?
Oh, I could get that to you right in the running game.
Yeah.
There ain't no reason to cap, ain't no reason to no fanfare. Their running game is something serious when Swift is in it. All right, when they were putting up all them points at the beginning of the season, because my man was running the ball and was running with his hair on fire. I was a DeAndre Swift fan. The dude was a kind of a do-it-all back. It's funny because he kind of reminded me of Noshawn Moreno when he was coming out. He not somebody that you look at and be like, oh my God, he's a top running back, but he just does everything. He's hard to stop, man. He's shifty. He's a bigger guy, so it's kind of crazy. It's like, bro, you kind of solid. I didn't think you can move like you're like a Tariq Cohen, but he got to do all that. The running game worries me a lot. I just don't know how we're gonna stop that. Mm-hmm. So that would be my chief complaint right now. Yep. The quarterback does not scare me. He's playing outside, so we know Jared Goff doesn't like Chicago weather.
That's for sure. We witnessed it. I was there with Greg Braggs in that Rams game where the Bears literally made him shit in his pants. I saw the shit rolling down his Tooch, you brought up the running game. You brought up the DeAndre Swift earlier in the show. Anything outside of the running game that concerns you about this Detroit Lions team?
Well, we are thin at cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a little bit of a worry with Kindle Vilder out. I never thought I'd hear myself say, damn, I wish Kindle Vilder wasn't out, you know, because before the season started, I was like, I'm not sure this guy's going to make the team, but he's played well. You know, I didn't think he was that good, but he did definitely improved for this season. But you wonder, Kyler Gordon going to stay in the slot, or is he going to move outside? You know, probably I'm guessing he's going to stay in the slot because they have those little guys, St. Brown and Khalif Raymond. You know, they're small and quick. You know, they're those guys play in the slot a lot. You know, the Detroit wide receivers thankfully are thin also. You know, so maybe that kind of evens out. But we have to get pressure on Goff. You know, that'll make things a lot easier on the defensive backfield.
Chris, what are your thoughts about this Detroit Lions team? What, if anything, concerns you about them?
Well, my main concern is exactly what KB was saying about their running game, because, you know, even before we lost them two players, our run defense hasn't really been up to par, you know, what we expect Chicago Bears defense to play. So I think their running game scares the heck out of me, really. Regarding the rest of the team, not much really. I mean, I think it's just going to be which offense outscores the other, which I know that's what you're supposed to do in the game, but I think the defense is it don't really mean it's going to be which offense outscores the other. And I just think, and I believe that we've got the better players and we've got a far better quarterback and I'd say better coaching staff on the offensive side.
Yeah, what I want to see out of this Bears team is for them to get off to a quick lead. If they can get off to a quick lead, then the Lions won't be running as much and we won't have to worry about our putrid run defense. And so getting off to a quick lead might also neutralize the Detroit Lions pass rush. I'm a little worried about Aiden Hutchinson, what he can do to our tackles. Now, the Lions are towards the bottom of the league in terms of sacks, but you know how it is with the Chicago Bears. Sometimes they play a team that is not performing really well in one area, and all of a sudden we make a star out of Aiden Hutchinson, or you know, he's going to be a star anyway, but let's not get his career jump-started today. So get off to a quick start. Let's get this offense humming. I hope that our offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy's got a very aggressive game plan for those first 15 plays that they usually script out. Let's get this team off to an early touchdown. And then hopefully defensive coordinator Alan Williams is going to come up with some exotic blitzes, some exotic looks, and rattle Jared Goff, because as you guys have said, and we all know that when Jared Goff is rattled, it's a beautiful sight to see. It's a beautiful sight to see. Tooch, I want to ask you about your favorite bets going into today. I know you run your service there, and so it's not these aren't freebies that I'm asking you for, but they are freebies. Give me some freebies.
Not gonna lie, it's a little bit of a tough day.
It is,
and I was on the Seahawks because I didn't want to put my money on a Buccaneers team that hasn't shown anything all season. You have to asking me to bet on the old Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, and the Seahawks have covered. You know, they've been one of the best teams against the spread all season. But you know, as it turned, you know, all the public was all over the Seahawks, and usually, you know, a good play is going against where all the money is. You know, just take it. The play was probably to take the Buccaneers, but it's 14-3, and the Seahawks are driving again. So maybe I'm right after all. But I think the easiest bet on the board is the Dolphins -3 at home versus the Browns. I think that and the over in that game. But yeah, there you go. You got that up there already. How'd you get that so fast?
I preload them while you guys are sleeping. I'm trying to work off my hangover, and I'm fucking putting in these things.
Yeah, I like this. I like the play on the Dolphins. I'll probably take it at 3.5. I got it at -3. You know, that way I protect myself if it's a field goal game. But I like the Dolphins. I think the offense will be too much for the Browns. Other than that, I mean, you and Uncle Mike talked about the Cardinals and the Rams, and that game is, Stafford going to be out with the concussion, and then Kyler Murray's got a hamstring injury, and he's not going to be running around. So they're talking about Colt McCoy playing, and the backup quarterback of the Rams is probably one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen. I mean, he's like Jonathan Quinn bad.
Ooh,
this kid, John Wolford. So
that might be fun to watch.
Yeah, we Anthony and I faded him during the preseason. If he was playing for the Rams in the preseason, we bet against the Rams preseason football. But
hey, I don't know if you guys have watched Hard Knocks, the midseason one that's just started with the Cardinals. But they did a great job by HBO and NFL Films, and so they had wireless microphones on quarterback Kyler Murray and wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. And boy, both of them were going at each other. Hopkins is like, what are you seeing? What are you seeing?
Yeah.
Open and he goes, Murray says, I'm going to get you the ball, brother. Stand back. He didn't like the heat that he was getting. And that, but also why I brought it up is that during the course of the game, Murray started complaining about that hamstring, saying, oh, man, this hamstring. Oh, man, it's bothering me. And so he brought it up 2 or 3 times that the cameras caught in any case. And so it has been a problem all week long for him. So that's going to be an interesting game with both quarterbacks probably not playing.
Yeah, I take I'll take give me Hopkins. Hopkins is an animal. I mean, I know they got Cooper Kupp on the other side. I don't trust Colt McCoy can get Hopkins the ball. I don't know if the other guy can get Kupp the ball. But
I was gonna say, my boy Hopkins is used to the Colt McCoys of the world getting him the ball.
Yeah, it's a stay away for me probably. I mean, both teams are a disaster. It's kind of funny. Like the Bears after last season, the Bears were kind of it was a little ominous. This season, the stars on the rise for Justin Fields. And other teams are falling apart. The Colts, the Packers. They talk about trading Aaron Rodgers to the Raiders yesterday, reuniting him with Devontae Adams and the coach of the Packers not, having difficulties there, keeping the team together. You hate to see it as a Bears fan, Aldo.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
And then, the Colts bring in a broadcaster from the booth to coach their team. What the heck?
That's unbelievable.
It's good to see that other franchises are making
even worse than the Chicago.
Yeah.
Right. KB, are you a gambler? And if so, is there a game today that you like or a bet that you would, if I forced you to share it with people, to adjust the line? Go ahead.
Ryan and betting is like oil and water.
That's right. You said that last week.
I am horrible at this shit. I'm decent at blackjack, but anything else.
Here's what I'm going to do, KB. I'm going to pick a game at random, and I want you to give me your pick for this game, and we'll pretend that you're laying $100 on it. All right?
Let's goddamn do it.
All right. I'm going to pick one at random here, and here comes the Colts at the Raiders. The Raiders are giving away 4.5 at home. The money line is Colts plus 170. Raiders minus 210. The over/under is 41. Go ahead and bet that $100, that fictitious $100 on any one of these things.
Okay. First of all, I am going to take the Raiders over the Colts. I'm not saying this because I have family that plays for that team, but I am saying this because I do have family. No, I'm playing. I'm taking the Raiders though. The Raiders are a conundrum. Okay. They have all the talent in the world. They should be one of the top teams in the league, but they can't. They can't put it together. I just don't get it. You have one of the 2 best wide receivers in the league on your team. I know Waller's hurt now, and you have Renfro that's been in and out of the lineup, but you still got Jacobs in the back. You got Adams. I don't know. It's so confusing, but I like them over the Raiders today. The Raiders have the output to put up a lot of points, so I want to say I would take the over. But there's some games They just don't score shit. That's what I'm saying. I'm so confused with this team, but I will take the over in this team, and I will also take the Raiders over the Colts. All that other shit, y'all can keep that.
You're the play professional here. How did the KB do?
To me, I can't touch this game. I don't know what I'm getting, but I would lean Raiders.
See,
he's just as
confused.
Carr and Devontae Adams, but the Raiders can't stop anybody on defense. So then they're a mess. Also, another team in the NFL that's a complete disaster.
Yeah.
Chris, do you agree with me when I say that the Colts are in full tank mode and there is no way they're going to win in Las Vegas or wherever the hell the Raiders play?
I think there must be, mate. I mean, to bring somebody in from the TV booth to be a head coach is a sign that your franchise is on a little bit of a shaky ground. And I think the Raiders will win. I think they might win by a couple of touchdowns. But I see the Colts just in disarray as a club, and the Raiders should take advantage of that because they've got good talent. For some reason, it just like clicked yet. So yeah, I'd definitely take the Raiders on that one.
All right. That's a good way to end up the show because I know the Fantasy Football Goon guys are getting ready to share their starts and sits and all the other features that they have on their great show. Let's go quickly around the horn here and get final comments. Chris, I'll start with you, brother.
Yeah, I think it'll be a Bears win today. I think the Bears will win probably 29-14. But it's just like as I say every week, it's been a complete blast being on the program with you boys. It's always awesome to get a chance to talk to Aldo, man. Brightens up my fucking day, man. And obviously Tooch as well, the man with the stats, and my man KB going out halfway through the program to save lives. How fucking cool is that? So thanks to everybody in the chat. You make the show as it is, and let's just get a Bears victory, man. Let's get Justin Fields that win, which that guy so deservedly, has earned over the last sort of month. So Bears win and Bears down from me.
Love it, Tooch. Your final thoughts.
Well, I think this game probably be closer than we think. I'd like it to be, a big Bears victory, and I think. If we're going to win this game, it's going to have to be Justin Fields again, just making some plays, extending drives with his legs. I'm tempted to take the over because neither team could stop each other. We saw it with the Dolphins and the Bears last week with 67 total points. But something tells me it's going to be an under game today. I'll probably just fall short of the number. So I'm going to say Bears 26, Lions 20.
Okay. Let me go next, KB, because I want you to close the show today. I want you to take over that Aaron Current role and close the show. Give us your final thoughts, your score, and then anything else you want to say to close the show. I'm with Doug Dyer here. I expect a huge win by the Chicago Bears, 35-10. I like those numbers. I'm going to use those numbers, Doug. I really do think that this is going to be a game where the Bears are going to say, don't count us out of the playoffs yet. It's going to be a huge challenge for them to overcome all of the teams that have better records, similar records. They've lost against the Giants, and the Giants right now are in that wild card race, so that works against them. But they're going to make a push for a playoff position, and I think it starts today. I really think they're going to win big. KB, it is all yours, brother.
Oh, my man done put your boy on the spot. Oh, I love it. Hey, man, we not cracking under the pressure. All right, baby, what I'm going with today, man, I was going with my lucky number at 34 for obvious reasons. 34, say 20. I said 24. I seen somebody put 26 in. 34-24 Bears. I think it's like what he says, man. Today is going to be that launching point that the Bears try to go for something incredible. If we fall short, man, we fall short. But this is how you get people to start looking at your team and saying, you know what, they have the franchise quarterback. They have the pieces in place. I want to go there because I feel like my contribution can push them over the top. That is how you build a team. It's not by tanking and hoping for a fucking high pick, because high picks bust just like late round picks bust. All right. So I want to see my team win. I want to see my team succeed so people can point and say, I want to be a part of what they're making because it's special. That being said, like I said, I'm predicting Justin Fields to have a good day. I'm going with this so much that I benched Patrick Mahomes for Justin Fields in my fantasy.
Oh!
Just know that. Just know that. I suffered with him on the bench last week to the tune of 42 points. I am betting it all on fucking Fields today. So, hey, I am going with it today. My man shows up, he shows out. He keeps showing on why he should be counted seriously as a fucking passer. And I say he has a big passing day, and we get somewhere close to 300 yards today. That being said, I want everybody to hit the like button, man. Subscribe, do all that. The algorithm and the such. We want to get everybody to start watching this, man. And you know what I'm saying? We just want our content to get out to everybody. So all these Chicago Bears fans, they can come in, you know what I'm saying? They can pop up a chair, get some coffee, you know, unless you're seated up and you smoking joints already, and it's like 10 o'clock out here. But I just want to say, give a major shout out to everybody that's on the program, man. Touche, we love you, man. Everybody, if you really want to pay attention to this betting thing and make some money, go listen to this man's show, man. They are on it. Him and the boy Joe, they are on it. Y'all need to be paying them some attention, man. Y'all need to be following and listening. My boy C-Dub, man. He's always coming in. I don't care if he's hired or not. My boy C-Dub is here. Fucking love you, man.
Always,
and your internet ain't cut out today. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Not stuck in the matrix.
It was great.
Hey, man. Also, man, major shouts out, man, to my boy AC. I know you had a bad day yesterday. We get it. It happens, bro. It's a part of the game, brother. It's part of the game. And to have his highness, you know what I'm saying, the king of Wakanda himself, aka Aldo Candilla, come on to the show with us, man. You know what I'm saying? We out here, baby. Hey, I love you, man. Like I said, I appreciate everything you've done. Every time I'm around you, man, you're nothing but gracious. Much love to you and family and all. People, man, y'all gotta follow us, man. Follow the shows. I don't care if it's a show talking about a TV show or a movie or anything down the betting, or you want to talk about the sad ass Cubs and White Sox right now. Hey, man, you need to follow us if you want to know sports, baby. That's what we telling you. And we're here for life situations. That being said, man, love all y'all, man. Love all the fans, man. Love all y'all, man. Hit that like button, baby.
Take care, everybody.
Hit the like button.